Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues!
What a game! Yes, what a game, what a game, what a game, what a game. Oh, man. Absolutely, the refs tried to not take that shutout away. I'm sorry. Husso's going to be one of the top 3 stars, but he shouldn't be. Because that was, E, in your condition right now, you could have had a shutout. Lance could have had a shutout. Hold on.
Goal by a defenseman in St. Louis Blues history. How does that make you feel, big fella?
News to me. I wasn't really sure what to do going in there, but just kind of went in there, had a little fun with it, and I guess I had a good shot.
It was so unique that you actually went to the bench. You didn't even think you were getting it, did you?
No, I honestly thought it was just a hook or some hold or something like that. So I was actually mad at myself because I tried to go on the backhand and the goalie just made a really good save actually on the initial one. So, but yeah, I just thought it was a hook or hold or something. So kind of caught me off guard a little bit. And I tried to give the penalty shot away. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Big D man going in. So, but that's all right.
Well, how long before you go in the locker room and tell head coach Craig Berube, I'm on the shootout list next?
I think I'm going to tell him on the bus, on the bus here to Vancouver. No, I think he knows that might not be the play.
Well, overall, what are your thoughts on this game? First time or third time in the history that you've scored an even strength goal, a shorthanded goal, a power play goal, and a penalty shot goal in the same game. So kind of a unique game here.
We're listening.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, like you said, there was a lot of different goals. They came hard. They had a lot of good opportunities too. Husso made some big saves, and we obviously capitalized on some of our chances. And that was good. So, like I said, they came.
Come on, Lance, are you there, bud?
Yep.
Okay. Husso made one big save in that entire game, right?
I counted one very good save on a very good opportunity, and then one or two others where he made some good saves, but the rest of them, in my mind, were pretty routine. What they have 27 shots on him, I think.
Yeah, 26.
25 of them were, shots that most goalies are going to save, and that's why I said when people look at, Bennington and Husso face the same amount of shots. That's not what counts, and I'm not taking anything away from the guy. It's still a huge accomplishment to get a shutout against any NHL team, even if it's an expansion team that's not very good.
I agree.
Yep, I'm with you. Hey, Lance, for future reference, if you're not going to be on, can we get a picture of you to put up there? Can you put it,
Yeah.
And I mean that in a nice way. It's better for aesthetics, okay?
I can send you one.
Well, no, you'd have to put it in your thing, like where it is now.
I've tried it.
Oh, you've tried it?
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me how to do it. I can just edit name. I know there's a way to do it though, because I've had people do it. I think if you go in your settings and you would put a background, you put a background picture.
Yeah, I tried it once before, and it didn't work with my computer. I tried to put a background picture on it, but yet when I use the camera not on the podcast elsewhere, it'll let me put a background in.
Okay, well, we'll have to figure it out then. What's the best way? And actually, I think if you're if you put if you just put a background, we'll look at it and figure out how to do it. So we'll just go from there, right? Let's see. Bennington could have gotten the shutout. Bob Stern the pop. I agree, Bob. Bob, you're not stirring the pot. I know what this shutout is going to do. It's going to erupt a goalie controversy amongst the fans. Start Husso, start Husso, start Husso.
Yes.
Right? But okay, Ryan, I didn't look, I like Josh. He's a great guy. He probably shouldn't have gone with what he comment, but let's not throw things back and forth, right? Let's not go there, guys. That's not what this show is. It's not been that. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I want to say something about the Bennington thing.
Yeah.
Number one, guys, he's our number one goalie. He's won a cup, and sure, he didn't do it on his own. He's going to be just fine. And for those people that want to trade him, what team isn't really up against the cap besides the Kraken, who has the money? If the Blues wanted to, and Bennington said, yes, I'll go somewhere else. What team is in line right now to pay a $6.5 million contract with a no trade clause and a guy that maybe isn't, is going to be a good goalie, but not a great goalie?
No, there's none.
Nobody's going to give the Blues anything for Bennington, because if they see Husso playing well and the Blues I know they're not going to, but if they went in that direction and made Husso number one and Bennington number two, that lowers your leverage even more in getting rid of him. So be patient with Bennington. Bennington would have won this game tonight because most of those shots, 99% of them, were pretty pedestrian type of shots. He was able to get clear views on most of them. And like I said, I'm not taking anything away from him. A shutout in the NHL is tough, but it wasn't a hard game.
No, it wasn't. In fact, the Blues tried not to score in the third period.
Mm-hmm.
Bush Davids tried not to score that goal. Parayko tried not. He even said it just now. I tried to give it away.
Well, if you look at Kyrou's goal, did he jump up and down and go crazy?
No, he didn't.
He respected he put his arms up, respected the other teams, and skated off the ice.
Yeah, and I actually think Seattle took exception to the fact that the Blues weren't trying to score.
I actually think they did too.
I think they did. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Come on, if that team would have wanted to score, that game would have been 8-0.
Yeah, easy.
It could have because if you notice, they went into a defensive mode. They started dumping the puck in a lot in the third period. It could have been much worse for Seattle.
Yeah, I do. Look, Ryan Green says Bennington would have let in 2 soft ones in. Ryan, I'm not sure if you're being serious or just trying to be a pot stirrer. I don't know.
I think Ryan's being serious.
Right? Golf King says, I hate that Bennington is number one. Well, yeah, okay. Great,
there's a reason why he's number one.
He is, It is what it is. And I'll go there. The new Kraken, they knew the Kraken were defeated mentally. Yeah, I agree. Yep. I saw that.
Yep.
Right. If becomes Golf King says, I will stop watching hockey if Husso comes number one over Bennington. Well, you know what? It happens from time to time.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So post game, what's Husso starts stats versus Bennington? Well, here's the thing. That's his first win on the road this season.
Yep.
That's huge. You need to win on the road, and Bennington wins on the road.
It was only his 4th game on the road, so before you can make somebody a number one starter over your normal number one starter, he's got to prove he can win consistently on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not putting you in Facebook jail, Josh. I'm not putting you there, bud.
No.
Right? Yeah. So we love you guys. Greg Kahn says, Guy, I know that you don't agree with this, but we need to ride Husso while he is hot and let Benner get some rest. Statistically, Husso is one of the best goalies in the league right now. Oh man, Greg, you're not wrong. You're not right, but you're not wrong. And I'm being honest right here. Right here.
Husso recently has been one of the best goalies in the league. But you can't say he's one of the best goalies in the league right now.
His sample size is too small for that.
Sample size is too small. It's just like, Guy, you and I tried to tell people the year of the Stanley Cup. Stop praising Jordan Bennington. Man, he's great. He's come on. He sparked the Blues. He won the cup and everything. But stop saying he's the best Blues goalie ever, and please stop saying he's one of the best ever, because it takes more than 34, 50 games to prove you're a starter.
I agree, and Golf King makes a real good point. Bennington plays the Avs, Husso plays the Kraken, right? And that's that's something you got to look at.
Yep.
2 of his wins are against the Kraken, a
Yep.
2-1 win and a 5-0 shutout.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Benny is resting. Benny's getting ticked and coming back and playing good. And I kind of hope that's what happened. Hitch used to ride the hot goalie until a loss. Think it should continue. And I'm not going to say that it shouldn't, but here's my issue. I don't mind Husso starting against the Canucks on Sunday. I don't want him in net against the Flames. I don't want him in net against Calgary.
Yeah.
So since I want Bennington in net against Calgary, I want Bennington in net against Vancouver as a warm-up, right? And I really think it should happen. Look, guys, I understand right now that when you look at the surface of things, when you look at the surface, and this is the same thing in 19. It is the same thing in 19. When you look at the surface, oh my God, he's so much better. The numbers say this, the numbers say that. And that's fine when you look at the surface, but I always ask you to look deep. And I think I'm the only, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I'm one of the few that does this, and I think Lance is with me on this. I always want you to look deeper in the game. I want you to look at the undercurrent of the game. I want you to look at the things that we can't readily see. Mm-hmm. Right? There are things that Bennington does well that Husso doesn't. There are things that Husso does well that Bennington doesn't. And together, they can get us to a good spot. Now, Lance, you said, and I don't mean to bag on you, Lance, okay? But you said in the pregame, I don't care if we don't win the President's Cup or if we don't win the division. I don't even care if we're 4th in the division. Well, I'll tell you what, bud, I do. Because I don't want to play I don't want to play Vegas or Calgary in the first round because I think one of those two is going to win that division. I also don't want to play the Avalanche in the first round.
But
I don't want that in the first round.
Here's the problem, guy. And
Yeah.
I think Ashley will agree with me. And I think somewhat you'll agree with me that if you go into the playoffs and you're playing your best, it doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed, whatever. If you're playing your better hockey than those ones in front of you and those ones behind you, you're going to do good things. It's great. I remember the year that the Blues won the President's Cup and we were all excited.
I was about to just throw 99 on you because they went into the playoffs hot.
Yeah, and they went to the playoffs hot, and something bad happened. We all know what happened that year, and it's a different thing. And we've seen Washington has won the President's Cup a couple times, and it's done them nothing. There's been several teams that have won it several times, and I agree with you. Do I want the Blues to finish first? Yeah, I would love that. That's what they should push for. But if they finish second or third, I mean, you got to look at it. The year they won the Cup, they finished third, and Winnipeg was second.
Hold on. But there's something that everybody forgets about that season. You know how close they were to first place? You know how close they were to first place in that season? They finished third.
Yeah, Winnipeg was too, though.
They were 1 point behind first place. 1 point. So was Winnipeg. They had the same record as Winnipeg. They had the same record.
But Winnipeg
both
had
99. Well, they both had 99 points. They didn't have the same record. They both had 99 points.
Yeah, but Winnipeg had beat them in the season series that year too. And I'm just saying that some people get caught up in it, and I understand why you want it and everything, but I don't think that's the end all, because I think when teams strive for that, they forget the goal of winning the Cup, and it's such a high at the end of the season.
I get it.
Yeah, it's such a high when you get that President's Cup and everybody's writing about you and how great you're going to be in the playoffs. And I think it puts pressure on a lot of people. Ashley, do you see where I'm coming from?
I agree 100%. That's why they have that whole thing where they say that if you win the President's, trophy, you're not going to win the Cup because you're going to have, the curse, as they call it. But it's really just you've got so much pressure for finishing number one.
Yeah, and like I think we all agree. Do we want the Blues to finish one? Of course we do. We definitely do. We want them to finish first, but at what cost? Is it going to wear them out? And that's why I like what Berube's doing now. And and I still agree that Bennington's our number one, but he's given Huso some experience. He's letting Huso play. Huso's only going to get better with the more experience he gets. He's going to start
Yeah, I
having more
agree.
road games, and you're going to need a goalie in case Bennington gets hurt. Or like Guy and I both think, Guy thought that Huso might be traded by tomorrow, and hey, he may be. Guy might be right, but I do agree with Guy that I think they're playing him more, not just because Bennington's struggling a little bit, but because they are showcasing him to other teams.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
It absolutely feels like that. So here's my thing. Here's my take, right? And this is something that's been bothering me all day. If you're worried about your two goalies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huso just played the Kraken in St. Louis to a 2-1 win.
Yep.
A week ago, not that long ago, not 2 or 3 weeks ago,
Yep.
a close enough period where why not start Bennington tonight and get a fair assessment of the two goalies against the same team?
Because the Kraken aren't that good of a team anyways, so...
But you would be able to see, first of all, you have Billy playing the Kraken at home where he's very, very good. Okay, he hadn't won on the road. Now you have Bennington on the road, who's good on the road, but you would be able to compare apples to apples somewhat. So
well, I don't think that they feel they need to, because if they're shopping Huso, they need to showcase that he can win a road game. He just beat the Kraken, so he has a good shot at doing that.
Okay,
it feeds that argument that they want to showcase him.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you right now, knowing Craig Berube and his style, he's like most guys. He loves to stick with a goalie. He loves to. He doesn't have, even in Philadelphia.
Hold on a second. Joshua and Ian, please, gentlemen, chill it out, or I will block you both for the rest of the show. I'm asking you to respect myself and your fellow co-hosts, that guys back it off, okay? We have a good show. We have good guests. We have good people in the comments. Let's bring it down to a much lower level. Please, gentlemen, I'm asking you that.
Yeah, I can't see your comments, guys, but
yeah, no, it's fine.
But
there's some back and forth going.
There's
some back and forth going. I wanted to end it.
Yeah,
and that's all I'm doing.
I just wanted to say that Guy and Ashley and I appreciate all your comments, and even though I can't see them, let's just keep it cordial. And if you got a difference of opinion, just leave it at that.
Yeah, and guys, I'm just asking to back off. Please, let's end it. That's all I'm asking from both of you, with respect. That's all I'm asking.
Is that orange juice, Ashley?
It has orange juice in it, yeah.
So is it
OJ and gin, some gin and juice.
I see what you did there.
You got some gin and juice. Okay, Jason Nichols says we should shut them out. Game 1 was a fluke. And that's I think you're talking about the first game in St. Louis. Possible, bud. Possible. There were some other things going on.
Yes.
Jason saying vodka. I've seen another comment by someone I hadn't seen in a while on here, and I meant to mention it. Now I can't find it. Erickson Krieger said Dunn was a jerk to Kyrou late in the third. No, I don't have a problem with what Dunn did. I
do, because it was a slew foot.
It was a slew foot, and I get that a little bit, but it was the entire Seattle team was taking offense to the Blues backing off. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I saw that. I absolutely positively saw that. I mean, I can you look at Bushnevich's goal right there 25 seconds in. He did not want to score that.
Well, here's my question. My coach has always said, we don't want to embarrass the team. If we get up 5-0, 6-0 in the third, if we have a scoring opportunity, we're going to score, but we're going to kind of not want to embarrass them. I mean, as when that happened to me, I appreciated that, because we were having an off night and they didn't want to make it 9-3 or 8-2 or whatever it was. And I don't know why they would be upset about that. Almost every NHL team does it. If they get up 7-2, 6-0 in the third period, they're normally not going to be all out, and still attacking. They're just not.
Yeah, no. And you could see it on the power play too, that fourth power play. The other thing, so slew foot. So a slew foot is when you take your foot and put it behind another and then put your arm above them and push the foot out while you pull them back. That's a slew foot. So you're taking their foot out from them while you're pulling them back, right? And this is something that I kind of yes and no. So both Jason and Bob Martin have brought this up. I have a problem with anyone once they aren't in a Blues uniform. I'm a homer. No, okay, wrong. I misread that. So I have a problem with the team not defending Kyrou. If that happened, I missed the slew foot. The team didn't need to defend Kyrou because before they could even defend him, Kyrou went right after Dunn.
Yep.
He said, I got this. He said, I got this. And I like that. Tarasenko played very well tonight. He only on the score sheet for an assist. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a nice little tap by Kyrou. Yep. And at first, when you look at it, you think that it was not like purposeful, but watch his stick. He turns it. You know. Parayko's did not want to score that. No, he didn't want to score that.
He even looked like he was just going for a stroll because he didn't want to.
And you know what? Blues fans are going to hate me for this, but that was not a penalty shot. If I'd have been a ref, I'd have called a penalty, but I would not have called a penalty shot.
That's where the new ref shows his, naivety.
And you know another thing, and Guy, I've been saying for years, and Ashley, I don't know if you've heard me say it before on Guy's show. People don't realize how fast Colton Parayko is when he wants to be.
My goodness. Yeah.
Do you remember Guy in his first rookie season in the playoffs? Yeah. He would get the puck in his own end and skate all the way across the center line, the next blue line, and skate it in and get a shot. And do you know what happened when he did that? You know who chewed him out after the game?
Right.
Our buddy Ken Hitchcock told him not to do that. That this isn't the AHL anymore. This isn't juniors. You know what? If you're a defenseman, you should show off those skills because it's
especially
only going to help
with
your
the shot
team.
he's got. Now, I will tell you this. Okay, I understand why you say it shouldn't be a penalty shot because he got a kind of a shot off, right? And the goalie had to make a good save.
No, that's not why. The reason I'm not saying it wasn't a penalty shot is because he didn't have a clear path to the goal. In other words, he wasn't 3 feet in front of him and the guy reach out and trip him or come up behind him and grab him and knock him over. He was
he didn't knock him over, but he did have a clear path to the goal, and the guy put his stick on his stick. The guy prevented the shot. The shot.
It should have been an interference call at best. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Okay, and that's fair.
In my opinion, too, but it was more like, I didn't feel like he had that clear shot like you seem to think, Guy. I felt like he was off to the side.
He was.
And so it wasn't really a quality.
He was off to the side, but there was nobody. The guy was not even, he was behind him. There was nobody between him and the goalie. The guy was not right next to him. The guy was not in front of him or coming into him. He was behind him. That is the clear shot I'm talking about, right? That is what I'm talking about. That's what you have to look at. Was the path clear? Did the guy have to impede his path to the goalie? And that's what he did. By wrapping his arm, getting his arm from behind and wrapping behind, he impeded the path to the goalie. Now, he did get a shot off, but I think he had a better could have taken a better shot, and that's why the penalty shot was awarded. The goalie did make a very good save. Now, here's something on penalty shots. Here's what I think it should be. You get awarded a penalty shot, great. You miss it, you go to the penalty kill or the power play. I always think that because I think when you award a penalty shot, you're actually rewarding the team for making a foul. Mm-hmm. Right, you're rewarding the team that fouled because I looked today. The average penalty shot that is made is in the 40s. Right. Well, I know that's higher than a penalty than a power play. It's still not. It's not a sure thing. It's not. If it was in the 70s, great penalty shot. You miss it, it's on you. But when it's in the 40s. You still have a less than 50% chance. So if you're going to do that, then you turn around and you say, okay, you missed it. Now you get the penalty, the power play on top of it. Yes, I know that's weird. I know some people won't see it. But I've thought that for a while now. I always thought.
I understand where you're going with it. I just don't agree with it because it's still an opportunity. Like, you shouldn't punish somebody twice.
It's not. First of all, where was the better? The reason for getting a penalty shot is because you had a one-on-one taken away from you. With speed, with time, with the emotion of the game, all of that, once the penalty shot's awarded, goes away. It really does. It goes away. And all of that is very, very important to the shot itself. Right? Very, very important. All of it. Once that's taken away, the penalty shot itself is actually more of an award to the offending team than it is to the team that got the foul on them. Right? So you give them the chance, but it's a less than 50% chance. That's what I'm getting at. It's not so high that you're going. It's in the 40s, like 45, 40%, 46%. It's close to 50, but it's still far enough away for me to say that it's not that it still goes to the goalie. It still goes to the offending team. You created a foul that you're going to get better with. Okay, am I missing some more stuff? Did you just send me that? Send me something, Ashley?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, come on, guys. I'm asking you not. I don't want to do this, so let's just keep your comments to yourself. That's all I'm asking, please. You guys are my friends, and I want to keep it that way. Yeah, I think the penalty shot / power play goal percentage jumps to about 60 or so, in my opinion, and it does. And at that point, then the foul doesn't. It's just like fouling in the last minute of a game, of a 1-0 game or a 1-goal game, with the goalie pulled or whatever. There's no harm to it. It actually helps you more than it hurts you. Right? That's what it is to me. That's where it comes down. Right? It only hurts you more than it only helps you more than it hurts you. I think that if there's a penalty in the last minute of a 1-goal game, that the penalty stays till a goal is scored or the penalty expires. Just like in football where they do an untimed down on a defensive penalty, a game cannot end on a defensive penalty. That's what it is to me. The game shouldn't end on a defensive penalty. And that's what happens. The game ends on a defensive penalty. All right, in hockey, that's the way I see it. Do you disagree with me there, Lance?
Yeah, I see what you're trying to do there. I just don't agree with it. The only way I can see the whole choice thing or the penalty shot, and then if you don't score, you get the power play. The only thing I could see was on those instances, you give the team who's going to either have the shot an option. Do you want to take a penalty shot, or would you rather have, he clearly deserves the penalty shot. I'm calling the penalty shot. Do you want the penalty shot, or do you want a 2-minute power play? I think that's the only way it's really going to work, as opposed to saying, here, you got the penalty shot. You're given
no one would ever take the penalty shot.
I disagree with you. Do you think Washington, when TJ Oshie's healthy, that they wouldn't take that penalty shot with TJ Oshie?
If it was TJ Oshie, but when it's a penalty shot on your fourth line player.
Well, then that's great. That's up to them. We're not taking the penalty shot. We're going to take a team that's got a really good power play and a fourth line player gets called a penalty shot. They should have a choice of if you're going to go that way, of saying, okay, you can take this penalty shot or you can have a 2-minute power play. That's the only way I see it work. And I don't think the NHL is ever going to say, we're going to give you this penalty shot, but if you miss, we're going to give you a power play. I just don't see how that would happen.
Kind of comes up and says 1-minute power play if the shot fails. I don't like that. And then Joshua brings up a really good point. This guy could be wrong, but the first time in a long time we controlled that center line. Yeah, we did tonight.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
We controlled the neutral zone tonight.
I just continue to say that I feel like if you miss the penalty shot, you're punishing the same player twice by letting
Yep.
that team have
Yep.
a 2-minute power play.
Yep. I agree with you.
It's a little bit both ways, right? It's a little bit both ways. It's a thought process, and that's all it is. It's how we think and what we're going through and what we're talking about. Let's get back to this game tonight. So yes, we beat the Kraken. Yes, they are the bottom 3 teams, right? They're a bottom 3 team.
Yeah.
What do we take away from this win? Do we take it as a good win? Do we take it as a bad win? What are you taking away from this win?
I'm taking away from this win that the Blues should have won this game, and they did win this game. And was it a perfect game? No, but that just goes to show you how much talent this teams have. They can have a night where they score 5 goals, but they didn't play their best. And I don't think the Blues did play their best. They played good, but I don't think they played their best. And I said it, after the first intermission, I think it was, but Torrey Krug, I thought, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but I continually was just impressed with him in the game. He's getting more feisty in Berube's system. He's getting more physical, but he's still keeping that offensive capability. I thought Falk had a great game. I was very, very impressed with the defense.
Oh, the defense played a really good game. They're part of the reason why the Kraken weren't getting the shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even the guy that we're not biggest on, Marco Scandella, he even had a pretty decent game.
He's been playing well. I mean, he's had like little flubs here and there, like the other night when we lost to Toronto. But for the most part, since December, even I haven't been complaining about him.
He's been more consistent, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
If he keeps playing this way, I really don't have anything to, complain about.
Yeah.
For me, the something that I didn't see the killer instinct, right? And I'm sorry, but you can look at a 5-0 win and say, oh, you didn't. What do you mean you didn't see the killer instinct? Those last 3 goals were not. They were trying not to score them. There was no way they could not score them, I guess. But I wanted the killer instinct tonight. I would have loved to have seen them. Really, I mean, I know you don't want to embarrass a team, but I think they needed to embarrass a team.
Right? Honestly, I think that the Blues, as much as this is going to sound weird, seeing that it is a Berube coached team, they're really too nice. They're not really the dirty team that we usually have a, history of being. They don't have that killer instinct.
But we don't have the killer instinct, and that scares me. That really does.
Not
Jason
if we're
Nichols
winning.
Says, Guy, this team is special. There's so much talent. So much. I'll be broken if we don't make the final. And I'm with you there. I'm okay with that. Marianne says there was some sloppy play. It's got to be the killer instinct, right? That's got to be important. And when you're at the halfway point of the season, you need to start showing killer instinct. Blues played really bad in the second period. They missed so many shots. Should have been 5-0 at the start of the second period, and I kind of agree.
Like I said, it wasn't their best game, but they just won this game because they were the better team, and like they just said,
if they play like this against Vancouver, they're going to lose. Vancouver is going to look at St. Louis as a litmus game. Vancouver still has playoff. They still have playoff aspirations. They are our team that could get themselves into playoffs. They are going to come into that game, ready to attack. They're going to be rabid dogs. Well,
you see, that's different, though. The Blues have had history with playing with Vancouver. This is the first time the Blues went to Seattle. I don't think that they felt like killing the Kraken, like just totally annihilating them was a good introduction to the league. They're not going to have a rivalry with them. They're going to only play them 3 games a year. So there was no sense in having that killer instinct and going for the jugular. They were going to win this game.
And you know what, Ashley? That is a very, very, very fair point. I think that's a very fair point. However, when have we seen, in the last 40 games, when have we seen the Blues show that killer instinct.
No, I'm not saying that they've got that killer instinct, after tonight's game. I'm just what I've said even before, and you've heard me say it, is when they're up 3-1 to a good team, 2-0, 2-1, and they get another goal to go up 2 goals, they don't have that killer instinct. They don't start really laying it on people and going after people. I'll agree with you with that one. They're super talented, but when they get a lead against a good team, for some reason, and I know it's got a lot to do with how good the other team is, but they don't have that ability, like Guy said, to go, okay, we're up 3-1. We don't want this good team coming back on us. We're just going to pour it on thick, and we're going to just keep attacking them. They really haven't done that a lot.
No, they haven't. Somebody mentions the Dallas game, and one of the 4-1 wins they did. I think in the game Husso played, they felt like they had that killer instinct a little bit.
Yeah.
They say we showed it in the Toronto game. I felt that once we got down 2-0, we started to show it.
Yep.
But then we let it go.
Yep.
But that's 2 games out of 40, right? That's 2 games out of 40. If they trade Husso and he keeps winning, they need to get a top-notch player like Connor McDavid. That ain't happening, my friend. Teddy, I love you to death, but that is not happening. It would take.
Like that.
Now, look, first of all, I believe that Edmonton needs to trade McDavid. I absolutely believe that.
That's not who they're going to trade. They're going to
for Husso.
They're going to end up trading Draisaitl, and everybody on Facebook today was Husso, Parayko, Costin, and a draft pick for Draisaitl. I'm not.
No.
No. Yeah, no, I'm not. Joshua, I see what you're saying about Dunn, and I don't want to get too much into it. Dunn had to go out and show his team, his current team, that he's a leader. And that's what I thought he did tonight. Now, did he do it in the right way? Probably not. There were some things there that he did that I do not agree with, that I didn't like. But I like the fact that he went out and he tried to prove that he's a leader, and he knows how to lead a team. I will give him credit for that, right? I will give him credit for that. I'll be honest right now. I have a feeling and the only reason I think that we would trade Husso is this is a very, very deep draft. Like, I'm talking 4 to 5 round deep. They're talking about getting a start now player. Not a guy that you get at 18 that's got to wait a couple of years. They're talking 4 rounds deep, guys being NHL ready right now. That's what I'm hearing about this draft. 4 rounds deep.
It ain't that deep. You may get some guys in the 4th round that end up playing this year, but when it talks about true impact players, I do agree it's going to be a very, very deep draft. I think you're going to see a lot of very good players in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see some guys that are good in the rounds 3 and 4. And a lot of times you don't see that. I don't think you're going to get everyday players in the 4th round who make the roster immediately. I don't see it with what's out there. I do see that possibly happen with the first 2 rounds, but you are right. It's a deep draft.
So because I see it as a very deep draft, and believe it, I'm not a draftnik, but I follow draftniks and I keep up with them. I have to. That's what I do. I can't do this show if I don't.
Yeah.
Right? So with that being said, you have something that is you had something that was a 5th round pick. Now you have something that is a 2nd and a 3rd and growing. Well, if you've got that, use it, because I could see you getting 2 impact players in the 2nd and 3rd round. I really could see that.
Guy, if somebody offered me a 2nd round pick for Husso and that's it, I'm sorry. I would, since it's a deep draft, I would take it.
I would too.
Especially if they're that confident in Hoffer, which I know they are.
Yeah.
They're very confident in him. And like you guys said, if for some reason they did trade Husso and Hoffer did okay, but he had a bad stretch, then you bring up Lindgren and let him play a couple games, but bring Hoffer right back after that.
Or Ellis. I think Ellis has the tools.
Yeah. Oh, Ellis
even at 19 to come in and do what he needs to do.
Yeah, I think
or 20. I don't know how old Ellis. You got to be 20. You got to be 19 to play in that league. So he's at least 19.
Ellis hasn't had as much international playing as Hoffer has, worldwide and playing against top teams. And that's why I think is one of the reasons he's behind in the depth chart, because Hoffer's played more international type games against very good players. I would have, if, I like Billy Huso. I think he's going to be a good goalie. I really do. But I think that if somebody gives you enough for him, and it's a draft pick that can help your team, or guy, if somebody gave you a second round draft pick, you could package it with something else to improve your team even more, since it's such a deep draft. I love him, and if they keep him, that's great. If they trade him, I'm going to wish him the best and not lose any sleep over it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Actually, that was Huso's first shutout this season.
No, that was his second.
Second.
They're saying his first right there on the graphic. So
I think it's his second.
I know it's his second because he got it before Bennington got his.
Yep.
So
okay,
he was our first shutout.
No, I'm not. I just know what they put up on the graphic, and they do wrong on the graphic sometimes.
So we've been talking. I'm sorry, guy. I don't mean to take over. We've been talking about good things and bad things. Is there a player in this game for the Blues that you looked at and thought, man, I was just expecting more out of him tonight? Because I saw a player or two like that. I'll start with you, Ashley. And like I said, Guy, I'm sorry if I'm taking over.
Oh, no, you're fine. That's just
Costin. I'm just not getting much from him.
That's really fair, because I thought tonight was one of his worst games than he's had with the Blues this season. Mm-hmm. He just looked lost.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing too.
I see that. Okay, I didn't see that as much as you guys did. I think Costin is an offensive player being forced into a defensive role. And sometimes...
You see, he's been put in offensive chances, though, and he didn't capitalize on them. So that's why he got pushed further down. For a while, they were putting him on the first or second and, giving him a chance to show what he has. But he doesn't have much at the NHL level. He might have been great in the KHL, but I haven't seen anything from him other than his ability to draw penalties.
Yeah, and he hasn't... I don't think he's been given the opportunity, because, trust me, I've watched him on the international side. Yeah. He's got skill. He's got good skill to be a top line or second line player in the NHL. And I think right now he's trying to feel his way around, because he's got that physicality, but he can score goals. So, sometimes players like that, they have the harder time making the adjustment, because they're not quite sure in the NHL when they need to be physical, when they need to step back and not hit somebody, when they need to take that puck and take it on their own. And I just think he's kind of like that. But I've been impressed with him several times, like we both have, like all three of us have this year. But tonight, I just wasn't impressed with him. Did you see that too, Guy, that you weren't super impressed with him tonight?
Actually, no. I thought he was playing his role tonight.
Okay.
The guy out there that I just didn't feel impressed with, and I cannot remember hearing his name one time tonight. So honestly, I don't know if he played tonight. Was Brown?
Brown wasn't playing tonight.
Brown wasn't playing.
Okay. Brown was a healthy scratch?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it was Costin, Bozak, and one more, right?
Bozak had a good game.
Yeah, Bozak got the game winner.
This was definitely one of his better games this year.
Okay, well, see, that's the thing. I listen to games more. So, you know what? I'm going to say the guy that I thought didn't have the game he should have had was Huso. I mean that in the nicest ways, and I know it sounds funky, but he didn't face. I mean, the Blues played so good in front of him. He faced one freaking shot. He faced one shot. He didn't seem like he was really in the game, and that's not his fault. It's not, but I keep saying I want to see goalies make the saves that they're not supposed to make. He didn't have to make any of those. Right? Oh,
yep.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about now. I thought you were talking about me there for a second. Right? No. I think that issue is taken care of, and we're done with it.
Good.
I brought it up. I don't want to bring it up anymore.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Look at it like this, Guy. The Blues did what they were supposed to do, beat a poor team.
Yeah, that's true.
And it is, and you're right, and I'm glad they did. But now you've got the next two games are very, very important. This road trip, we are not a road team. This was only our 8th win on the road.
Yeah, 8-7-1 on the road.
8-7-1. I'm not happy with those numbers.
Nope.
We need to win the next 2. We need a 3-game road
was
winning
it last year, Guy, or the year before, where they were great on the road and terrible at home?
Last year they were great on the road and terrible at home.
And I've as a player, I've never understood that. But I've played in other cities and things like that, and we were pretty consistent. In all the years I played, there were a few times on teams that I was on that we tended to have better records at home, than we did on the road, and that's normally the way it is. But to play in 16 games on the road and only have 8 wins, that's not real good.
No, it's not. And one of the reasons that I bring this up for me is, last year was COVID, and it was straight up COVID. That is why a lot of teams weren't good at home, right? You came home, you had to deal with your wife and your kids not being able to go out. You couldn't go out. Whatever the situation was. I remember Robert Thomas saying, he loves Kachucks, but it was almost unbearable there, because with they couldn't talk to Brady, they couldn't talk to Keith, and our Matt, and there were some other things. There was just a lot of issues with being at home that I think brought itself to the ice. So what I'm seeing now, though, I'm seeing a team that at home is playing very well at home. On the road. Yes. It's not that they haven't gelled. I think they have gelled, but I think on the road you have to have, and I know, here we go, broken record guy, the killer instinct, right? Okay, but tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll get off it. Yeah, Ashley, you're not wrong. You're just boring as hell.
It's like I said earlier. It's just like, you remember Hitchcock? They'd get up 2-0, 3-0, and a team would sneak back in and make it 3-3, or they would lose 4-3 in the last second shot. And it's frustrating because this team has the talent to where they should, and it's got a lot to do with the other team you're playing. The other team's got pride too, and they don't want to give up more goals. But this team has the talent that if they're up 3-1 and it's 15 minutes left to go in the third period, they've got enough talent to really put the pedal to the metal to where the other team's not going to get a lot of scoring chances, and they're going to be spending a lot of time in the offensive zone.
But they don't, and that is an issue.
Yep.
That is an issue. She's just going on that gin and juice.
Yeah.
Or is that a tool, a screwdriver?
That's a screwdriver.
Oh my God! But so no, that's my thing right now. And look, I get winning is great. I love it, but the NHL. The NHL is a league. It is not baseball. It's not football. It's not basketball. This is a league where trends show themselves very, very quickly. And I know players hate talking about them, but they show up and they stay.
Mm-hmm.
They stay more than any other sport. If I'm coach A, B, or C, I go, you know what? They got a 2-goal lead on us. We end it there. Okay, let's go after them. They're going to back off. So you guys go after them. Go after them hard. Go after them hard. And that's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing. And you're seeing this trend where you could end that. You could end that. Where in 2 or 3 games like this, instead of, oh my goodness, we don't want to score, but we scored, you go out there and you fire that puck. You take 10 shots in the third when you're up 5-0, or you take 15 shots in the third when you're up 5-0, and you say, you come play us and you stop us from scoring. You don't want us to score, you stop us. And that's what I think it has to be. It has to be, come in and stop. Show me you got to stop me from scoring first instead of us stopping scoring. And if you do that, you will change how teams play you. You will change, and in the second, you will put teams away because they're not going to come after you in the third because they know they can't.
Yeah,
and until they do that, this team is not going to get past the second round of the playoffs.
Well, when you play and you play hard every game, night in and night out, regardless of who you play, and you're competitive and you beat good teams, and you take care of business with the bad teams, it does build up, and you learn to be that team with killer instinct. And this year the Blues have a couple new players, and it does take time to get to that. And Berube had that killer instinct. I used to watch him play, and he puts that into his players. But I think sometimes, like we've discussed here before, when it gets to be the third period, if they're up by 3 goals, and sometimes if they're up by 2, but it's mostly 3 goals or up, Berube wants them to all of a sudden go into that shell. If you've got a 2-on-1, take it. If not, dump and chase. If not, get the puck out of your end. And it's a fine line between doing that and not letting a team come back and beat you. Because if you do that too much and you're not aggressive, like you said, Guy, and you don't have that killer instinct, it was 3-1, and all of a sudden now, because you've been in the shell and not attacking, it's 3-3.
Yeah. No, I'm with it, and that's what concerns me. You look at this game. Most people will look at this game, and I know Ashley loves it. You're so hard on them when they win. But tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll drop it. You have to have. They did not have that killer instinct tonight, and I think that they were absolutely
didn't need it tonight.
Yeah, I'll agree with Ashley on tonight, and I think it's
it was a 5-0 win.
It's a game by game basis, and when there's 5-10 minutes left and you're up 5-0, yeah, you want to keep attacking, but and there are some coaches that would just go full bore and they'd win 10-0, but there are other coaches that know, hey, I don't want these guys when it's 5-0 with 5 minutes late or 5 minutes left in the period to go out killing themselves and hitting everybody and doing this and that, because you could get an injury too. It's a fine line between finishing a game and playing hard, or not finishing a game and trying to just coast to a win. It's such a fine line.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. I'm with you. I'm on that. My only thing is, you got to look at the next 2 games.
Yeah, you have to. But like I'm with Ashley on this one. And by the time the third period came around, I don't think they necessarily needed that killer instinct. If it would have been 3-2, 3-3, something like that going into the third, that's when that killer instinct comes in, and you're like, hey, they've come back and tied us, or now it's 3-3. Let's show them what we're really made of. And then that's a killer instinct.
Or even if they made it 3-1, I would have seen it because they're showing signs of life. But this Seattle team had no life the entire night.
True.
Nothing.
That's true.
Zip, zilch, nada.
I will give you that.
Yeah, I love Jordan Eberle. I thought he was one of my favorite players with the Islanders.
Yeah.
And I've watched, like I said, 12, 13 games of theirs this year. And there's some games where you think, man, the Islanders must really be missing this guy. He's still the player he was. He's all over the ice. And then I've watched him in some games like tonight where, yeah, he had a couple good opportunities, but you didn't really see him play all out. And that's disappointing to see a good player not play all out.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to. I guess I'm cynical in some in some ways, but I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Show me against Calgary, who is a good team who's playing at a 600 clip. Show me that you can stop that team, because they have a guy out there that can take over a game like that. Matt Tkachuk can take over a game like that. He can do it.
He sure can. And when we see him on Monday, I'm sure we're gonna take care of business.
Oh,
look at how they did against Edmonton. They were able to keep McDavid at bay. They were able to keep Ovechkin at bay. I'm not worried about a team that has one good player. But they can't show you what they're going to do for Calgary against Seattle.
Yeah, and
you got to do a game-by-game basis.
That's exactly right, Ashley. You've got to approach, even though we all know Greg Berube pushes defense, you've got to approach each team with a different game plan. if you know that Calgary plays physical and Matthew Tkachuk's going to go after you along with a couple other guys, then you're going to be physical too.
Hey, Bill, it's not that I'm not happy with the win. I am happy with
Oh
the
yeah,
win.
we're all happy
Right?
with
No,
it.
no. Well, I mean, he's telling you're not seeing the comment. He says the Blues won 5-0. Guys, cheer up. It's not that
Lance
I'm
and
not
I are
happy.
fine. It's this
Yeah.
guy over here.
It's that I'm so used to seeing. Yeah, first Blues. It's the first time a Blues defenseman has scored a penalty shot.
Ashley and I understand what Guy's saying. We just don't necessarily agree with him in this
And he keeps
instance.
repeating himself, and it's kind of boring.
Oh,
Love
you, guy.
We love
yeah,
you, Guy.
I know. But see, this is why this show is gaining viewers. Guys, we're at the 55-minute mark, and just give me a few moments, right? First of all, this is why this show is gaining viewers. We're gaining viewers because we have some really good knowledge, and that we let people talk. Even when we had some comments tonight that probably shouldn't have been there, we didn't get mad, we didn't get pissed off. We handled it in, I think, a very mature way, and we dealt with it in the right way. The Blue Note Fan Report.
I'm talking to E.
Huh?
I was talking to E. Sorry.
Okay. The Blue Note Fan Report. Oh, I know what he's saying now. The Blue Note Fan Report is about the fan. And I bring this up so much, right? We are about the fan, and we are bringing you your opportunity to give your opinion. All we ask you to do is to give your opinion respectfully. And look, I understand people get heated. I understand, look, people have seen me out and about, and when I'm not on the show, every other word is an F-bomb, right? I've been out there, I've been there, I've done that. Trust me, I can.
He's a sailor.
Yeah, he's
right?
a former Navy guy. What do you expect?
So I want you to know that I ring it in because I want to be just as respectful to you as I want you to be to me. That's what I ask for. And this show is your only voice. You go find another show out there that is Blues based, that has this much information and this much talent. Show them to me, and I'll invite them on the show, or I'll go head to head against them, because I don't think you can find one. Not one that goes every day, and not one that really gives you the voice. That is what I want to do here. That is why. And look, Lance had his choice. I guarantee you, Lance had his choice of podcast. He could have gone on Locked On Blues. Could have gone on. I know he could have joined Let's Go Blues Radio, and I mean this in the nicest way, Lance. So don't. I know that if you'd asked them, they'd have jumped on you. I know Jamie Rivers and his podcast, one of his podcasts, if you would have said, hey, I want to, is there a chance of me joining you? There's a chance that maybe they do, right? So I know you had your chances, choices. So for you to come to me is a huge, compliment that I appreciate so much, bud.
Well, I appreciate that. And I love the format where people can say things, and if I get heated, or Guy gets heated, or Ashley gets heated over both of Guy and I getting heated, then it's just a discussion. And even though we may think you're wrong, there's no hatred, there's nothing we hold against anybody. You're here to give us your opinions. What do you guys see as fans? What do you see if some of you maybe played the game before and you've got that insight too? It's just an exchange of information where everybody feels comfortable and nobody feels like their opinion doesn't count, because everybody's opinion counts.
Yep, absolutely. Your opinion is just as important as ours,
Yep.
Absolutely.
We brought that up. Shout out to Jeremy Brander, Rave Star. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Rave Tar. I don't know. 101. But yeah,
Ravatar?
Jeremy. Yeah, Ravatar. Okay. Jeremy, I've met Jeremy. Jeremy's a good guy. I held court with him one time, so that's
Great.
it. I love you guys, even though I'm always right. You accept me.
Hey, Robert, I'm also glad you're really humble too there, buddy.
He's as humble as they come.
Oh, I know. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Now I've been told by people that A, I'm not liked, B, I'm full of myself and I don't have a clue of what I'm talking about, and things like that. And you know what? If that's your opinion, amen, brother. That's what your opinion is. But I always offer you the chance to come on here and debate me. And that is always open. If you can do it fairly and honestly, I love debate. Debate is what makes this country great. And I will say it till the end of time. I'll debate anybody on hockey any day in the world. And Lance, you and me now since 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
My 50th birthday is when we first we talked before that when we first met.
Yep.
You and me have had some difference of opinions.
Yeah.
We also see the game much alike.
Yeah, and I've never gotten off one of your vlogs and said I can't stand Guy. He's such an idiot. He's stupid. To be honest, I've gotten off the vlog and thought, I still think he's wrong, but there's no hatred behind it. And
yeah, well,
and
I think that you're wrong all the time, and that you know you shouldn't be here, but I let you on anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and there's other shows that I've been on, and Guy knows what shows I'm talking about, to where the people on there, whether it's a podcast or a vlog, any opinion you have that's different than theirs, they make you feel like an idiot, and that's not what we do here.
No. I'll tell. If I disagree, I will say it. I will absolutely say it. And Teddy, you bring up something. I believe between now and the playoffs, the Blues will have that killer instinct for the playoffs. I hope so. Right? But the only thing is that normally playing the, you know what? When I was in the Navy, we had this saying, right? And I believe it so much, and I've seen it so much, and I still see it in me. Train the way you fight.
Yep.
You fight the way you train, right? And what that means is when we trained, and trust me, in the Navy, you train all the time. I have trained to fight a main space fire more times than I can talk, and the main space is an engineering space.
Mm-hmm.
I have trained to fight a fire like that more times than I can count. I have trained to react to a situation more times than I can count. When a situation happens, instead of getting scared or instead of getting worried or anything else, my training takes over. You have to play the regular season like you would play the playoff. And that's my only concern. Right? That's my only concern.
Yep.
Well, guys, we're at that 1 hour mark. Yep. I want to check something out here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, okay. Well, we'll kind of figure that out later, deal with it. Guys, have a great night. This is Guy, the Y Blues fan. Tomorrow, I do not know if we're going to do a show, right? Because we have the game on Sunday. We will play it by ear. I'll let Ashley and Lance know as things go. We'll see what happens. And that, and hopefully we can diffuse some situation. Guys, I love you all. Enjoy life, enjoy the night, enjoy the win, and please remember, just be respectful to each other. That's all I ask. So this is Guy, the Y Blues fan, for Lance, the Drop Hockey, to Scott, and Ashley Slapshot Jones, saying aloha, mahalo, and we'll see you all on the next Blue Note or Hockey Fan Report.